device on the floor where you'll find a gas mask. Good luck.
Screw this.
I heard Riri Williams was a genius. So you in or out?
You are not the first genius at MIT.
How come you're not working at one of those fancy tech firms?
After my internship abroad, I want to build something undeniable. Something
Important? Can give you the tools to help you carry out your vision. But anyone who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life,
you know nothing about this man.
You're gonna end up dead or in jail.
This is so much bigger than that. This is wild. A shady bunker.
My bunker's not shady. Would a shady bunker have that on the wall?
It's literally above a crate of self-guided missiles.
I'm returning those.
Welcome back, everyone. Marvel dropped a brand new trailer for the Ironheart series. Episodes are coming in June. There's a bunch of Easter eggs here. I know there's a ton of questions. There's some weird stuff going on behind the scenes with the series, so we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the episodes. First big weird thing, they're actually dropping the entire series over 2 weeks. So it'll be 3 and 3, like 3 episodes on the first day, then the next week, the rest of the 3 episodes, only 6 episodes total. They finished filming this a couple years ago and it's been sitting on the shelf just waiting to be released. So it's part of this old regime at Marvel, the old way they were making TV. You probably just saw the upfronts news this week with Jessica Jones coming back for Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Really happy to see her back. Looking at you, Marvel, how about you tell us when the rest of the Defenders and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. characters are coming back too? But behind the scenes, Marvel's been pivoting with the way they make TV in general, going back towards the old model, the way they used to make TV on an annual basis, like seasons every year. Daredevil Born Again is sort of like the beginning of that, but because Daredevil Born Again sort of overlapped with the period when Marvel decided to start doing things in a better way, it was a sort of Frankenstein season with some of the episodes being from the old creative and some of the episodes being from the new creative. You can very clearly tell the quality stuff is all from the new people, the new way they make stuff. Ironheart is from the old regime, so I don't know why they're trying to binge drop this. It's almost like they're trying to bury the series a little bit, like, oh yeah, by the way, we have this thing that's been sitting here for a while, we're just going to shove it out real quickly and then forget about it. Hopefully it winds up being at least a little bit quality. They really, really want you to know that Ryan Coogler was a big part of making this. I think because Sinners blew up so big for them, and Black Panther in general has been such a huge property for them between both the Black Panther movies. Like, they just met with Ryan Coogler about directing their new X-Men movie, even though I think that he's going to do Black Panther 3 instead of the new X-Men movie, because they're both going to be coming out around the same time. Black Panther is his real priority, even though he is a huge X-Men stan. As they said at the beginning of the featurette that they released a while ago, like, he spent the first part of that featurette saying, I grew up being a huge X-Men fan, X-Factor, all the spin-off X-Men comic books.
I was really big on X-Men and all of the offshoots, like X-Factor and Wolverine.
Not totally sure why an Ironheart series featurette spent so much dedicated to the beginning of that, talking about X-Men characters. Will there be mutants showing up during this? Will there be any X-Men characters at all? It is totally possible, but the big thing during this series, obviously Anthony Ramos' Hood character is meant to be the obvious main villain, but Alden Ehrenreich, also big deal, big Easter egg, is playing Obadiah Stane's son, Zeke Stane from the comics. Here's the thing though, in the trailer, he basically tells her his name is Joe McGillicuddy, which is definitely 100% the fakest name that you could ever give someone. So we will see if he's also trying to pull a Terry Silver Karate Kid 2 situation on Riri Williams, where he pretends to be her mentor and helping her, but really winds up using her for some sort of ulterior motive. Not totally clear, just from this footage, if Zeke Stane is also connected to the Hood separately too, because the way they present this is that the Hood is running his own crew in Chicago, basically just stealing stuff left and right, doing whatever he wants. And the way they're pitching Riri Williams in this is that she basically had gone back to MIT after the events of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, just gone back to being a normal school kid there. She winds up getting kicked out of school because she's pinching stuff left and right from the labs to make new Iron Man armors for herself. Like, she's basically doing stuff that she's not supposed to be doing at school. They catch her in the act and then wind up kicking her out. She winds up taking her janky new armor suit that she's building, like her Mark III, I think we're calling this one, and tries to finish it, but she doesn't have any money, and for some reason, she winds up running into the Hood. Like, she comes across his radar, he's pulling some job and finds out that she's a genius and needs her for some reason to pull off the job. So it seems like he gives her an audition, like a Saw trap style. If you do solve it, then you can join my crew, and you'll make a ton of money. Basically with the Hood playing on her need for money to finish her armors. So at least the way they're presenting this, he's the obvious villain pulling the strings. If you've never read any of the Hood comic books, he's a ground-level magic-based character, but it's like magic with guns. Like, he uses guns, but he can also weave magic. Supposedly, Sacha Baron Cohen filmed some scenes for this series as a version of MCU Mephisto. I don't know if that wound up staying in the series because the IMDb, like the Wikipedia page, still credits Sacha Baron Cohen as being a mystery character. So it sounds like he's still in there somewhere.
You'll never get this. You will never get this. La 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 la.
And the way they were justifying that, at least a couple years ago when that was the plan for the series, is that the series would be sort of a juxtaposition about magic versus technology, with Riri Williams using her technology, her Iron Man suits, to try and deal with the Hood, who was using magic. But I think part of the idea is that during the first arc of the series, when she eventually has to go back to Chicago after she gets kicked out of MIT, she winds up falling in with the Hood and his bad crowd, his crews. Then as the hero's change of heart, like, oh, this is wrong, I shouldn't be doing this, at some point winds up meeting Zeke Stane, and he agrees to help her. He seems like he's a nicer guy, like he doesn't have any shady motives, but is obviously lying about his identity. Has his own crazy Iron Man underground bunker with a whole bunch of weapons, which is a big callback to his father, Obadiah Stane, who was one of the co-runners of Stark Industries when they were in their core weapons manufacturing phase. And it's not totally clear what he needs all those weapons for, so it just definitely feels like there's something that he's not telling her about why he's doing all this and why he's helping her. He probably needs something from her, some sort of technology that he can't figure out himself. Maybe some callback to the original Iron Man movies and Obadiah Stane and how he was never able to fully replicate Tony Stark's arc reactor technology, so he basically had to just steal his arc reactors and stick it in a much, much larger Iron Monger suit, which wasn't nearly as sophisticated as Iron Man's suits at the time. Fun fact too, another big callback to that original Iron Man movie is that Jeff Bridges said there was a deleted scene where Obadiah Stane was supposed to have survived that final battle, like they were going to open up the Iron Monger suit and there would be no body because he escaped somehow. Just because that didn't wind up in the theatrical cut and it's been so long since that original Iron Man movie, I think we could probably say that he's dead in the official canon version now, but originally that wasn't supposed to be the case. Whatever plot they had planned for him, now clearly they're passing on to his son, Alden Ehrenreich, Zeke Stane. We will see if it's going to be a big twist on the whole trope of I'm not my father, like I'm not evil like him, or he could be way worse than his father. We'll see. You can let me know in the comments. But the way they begin the trailer here, it almost looks like an Iron Man heads-up display, like Riri Williams is looking through her visor at Chicago through this, because that is her hometown. That's where most of the series is meant to take place, after she unceremoniously gets kicked out of MIT. Also the place where Spider-Man was trying to get into school and failed to because of the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. She goes to the job interview for the Hood that turns into the Saw trap. What's not totally clear is what the Hood is using his crews in Riri Williams to actually steal. Like, what does he actually need her? What kind of jobs are they doing?
Riri, I see you, waiting to be acknowledged for your greatness.
Either way, it pays them very, very well, which is she's using money to finish her armor. There's voiceover from the Hood, intercut with scenes of her back at MIT earlier in the series before she gets kicked out after the events of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. He basically plays on the whole idea that she feels like she's underappreciated, people aren't recognizing her genius. I think these scenes of her building the white armor suit are from earlier in the series. We can call this her Mark III, technically, because the Mark I was the dumpster dive version prototype that she built at the beginning of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. The Mark II would be the vibranium suit that's based more on the comic book version of the suit design, but that they kept in Wakanda. Shuri didn't let her take that with her. And then the other one that we see, like the dumpster dive one that looks like it's half made, not quite finished, will be her Mark IV, technically. I think the idea, like I said, is that she pinches a lot of the materials to make this advanced suit from around MIT, but she bogarts a lot of the stuff, so that's why she gets in trouble, why they kick her out. Jim Rash, the MIT liaison from Captain America Civil War, comes back. He basically tells her that she's not the first genius to walk through their doors, which is another reference to Tony Stark Iron Man having gone to MIT briefly. When she gets asked why she's not working at a fancy tech company, I think the idea is they're asking her, why aren't you working for Stark Industries doing stuff like this? If you're building Iron Man armor suits, why aren't you working for Iron Man's company? They'll probably have a much deeper explainer for this, but I think basically the idea is that she feels like the regular companies, regular tech companies, don't have anything to offer her that she can't do herself. She either just wants to do her own thing or build her own company. This is the faceplate from what would be technically her Mark IV armor that we see her using later in the trailer. But I think part of the idea is that at this point, she's working with the Hood, earning some money using that to pay for some of these parts, but it's still not nearly enough money, because if you remember the Iron Man movies, he spent hundreds of millions of dollars like it was candy, like it was nothing to him to build all of his armors. But he had all that money to spend, like it wasn't a big deal, so he didn't even think about how much it cost, he just did it. As opposed to Riri Williams, who's like a normal person and has $0 to spend on this. Thus, her new armor suit has a lot of the functionality of a good armor suit, but it just doesn't look that great.
I can give you the tools to help you carry out your vision.
When he says, I can give you the tools to help you carry out your vision, that does feel like a bit of a Vision reference, but I don't think he's supposed to show up during this. White Vision will come back during the Vision Quest series. They're just calling that the Vision series. They might just say like Vision Episode 1, Vision Episode 2. That'll be releasing in 2026. That's being made by Terry Matalas, who just did Star Trek Picard Season 3. Banger season. Really amazing that he's actually on the series, being made under their new creative style, so it just seems like it'll be quality. But originally, all those characters, like all the Iron Man adjacent characters, Riri Williams, Vision, were supposed to show up during the Iron Man Armor Wars movie that they were going to do, that turned into a TV series, then turned back into a movie, then kind of got canceled quietly behind the scenes. So I think part of the idea here is they just want to tease that she's seduced by the dark side here, by evil, by money, and then slowly eventually realizes what's going on here and then tries to actually turn good again. That's probably when she starts fighting the Hood. We will see how quickly that turn winds up happening. Because they're releasing the episodes, first 3 and then second 3, like in a binge style, I think the idea is that by the end of episode 3 is when she turns against the Hood and they start fighting each other. Not totally clear what this company is that it seems like they're robbing. It's probably one of the jobs that he hires her to pull. Also not totally clear what they're stealing from here either. There's a weird scene of the Hood with this scarring on his back, like these symbols on his back. I think this is meant to represent the cost of the magic that he's using. It might have something to do with the relationship he has with the Mephisto character. Basically the idea that the magic is corrupting him, eating him, like it's hurting him somehow, but it's giving him more power. But there's still a lot of questions about what they're going to be doing with the Zeke Stane character, what the future of Ironheart is beyond, say, like the Young Avengers team. She will probably be on that Young Avengers squad when they eventually form, but I think that they've actually started calling them the Champions, and it'll be a TV show on Disney+, but it won't actually drop until after Avengers Secret Wars. Maybe she'll have some small role during Avengers 5 Doomsday or Avengers 6 Secret Wars. We will see how they invoke some of those Young Avengers characters. Generally, I think they're going to be lesser characters till after Secret Wars, and then they'll do their own thing on Disney+. Like, they'll basically develop them more after Secret Wars. But there's a bunch of stuff going on during the footage. If there's any Easter eggs or references that you spotted that I didn't talk about in the video, just write them below in the comments. And like I said, episodes are going to start dropping in June, and it'll be 3 and 3. So it's only going to be a 2-week series, basically. I will just do one video for the first 3 episodes, and then another video for the second 3 episodes. It's kind of the way that they did the Andor series, where they dropped 3 episodes at once. They're just fewer total episodes for Ironheart. Just because they confirmed a bunch of Daredevil Born Again Season 2 and Defender stuff, I'll try to do a video for that as soon as possible too. There's just a lot of big stuff that just happened this week. I'm working on another Superman video. There's a bunch of news from Night of the Seven Kingdoms, a bunch of Game of Thrones stuff. I'll try to do videos for everything as soon as possible. Be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of that. Everybody click here for my brand new Superman trailer video, and click here for my new Spider-Man Noir trailer video for that Nicolas Cage live action series. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.